The entire nation of Japan had been waiting for this moment for years, not with forgiveness in their hearts, but with memory. Memory of betrayal. Memory of disrespect. Memory of a legacy stained in front of millions. When Luis Neri first stepped onto Japanese soil years earlier, he was not just another challenger. He became a symbol of everything the country despised in boxing. A man who cheated, who disrespected weight limits, who celebrated cruelty without honor, and who ended the career of a national hero in the most painful way imaginable. Shinsuke Yamanaka was not simply a champion to Japan, he was an institution, and Neri's actions shattered something sacred. The boos that followed him were not noise. They were a verdict. Neri's punishment was exile. Japan shut its doors to him completely, banning him not out of anger but out of principle. For years, his name carried a stain whenever it was mentioned in Japanese boxing circles. Meanwhile, a quiet force was rising in the background, one built on discipline, precision, and something far more dangerous than rage. Naoya Inoue did not shout. He did not taunt. He did not posture. He sharpened himself. And as fate would have it, the paths of the monster and the villain eventually crossed, not for forgiveness, but for something closer to justice. When the ban was lifted in 2024, it was not mercy that allowed Neri back into Japan. It was spectacle. It was consequence. It was the understanding that if there was one man capable of delivering public reckoning inside a ring, it was Naoya Inoue. The Tokyo Dome did not fill with 50,000 people to watch a boxing match. They came for resolution. They came to see whether the monster truly lived up to the name. And they came knowing that pressure sat entirely on Inoue's shoulders. This was not just a title defense. This was national expectation. From the opening moments, the fight carried a tension that felt heavier than belts. Inoue pressed forward with intent, clean and surgical, breaking rhythm and distance with frightening efficiency. But boxing has a cruel sense of drama, and for the first time in his career, the monster tasted the canvas. A left hook from Neri landed perfectly, and the unthinkable happened. The Tokyo Dome gasped. Silence followed. Inoue was human. For a split second, doubt crept into the air. What followed defined greatness. Inoue did not unravel. He did not rush. He did not abandon structure. He absorbed the moment, recalibrated, and returned to what made him elite. Foot positioning tightened. Counters sharpened. The pace shifted subtly, then completely. By the second round, the fight belonged to him again. When Neri lunged forward recklessly, Inoue punished the mistake instantly, sending him to the canvas with venom. Balance returned to the arena. The crowd exhaled. From that point on, the fight transformed into something closer to art than violence. Inoue began dismantling Neri piece by piece, exploiting every flaw that had defined his career. Poor footwork, overcommitment, defensive lapses. Every right hand landed with purpose. Every body shot drained something essential. Neri tried to compensate with aggression, with complaints, with desperation tactics that echoed his past. None of it worked. The monster was no longer reacting. He was dictating. By the middle rounds, the difference in levels became undeniable. Inoue moved like a shadow, slipping punches by inches and returning fire with precision that felt premeditated. The crowd no longer demanded revenge. They were witnessing mastery. When Neri resorted to dirty tactics inside, it only accelerated his downfall. Inoue remained composed, punishing recklessness with compact hooks that sent Neri down again. Each knockdown felt less like chaos and more like inevitability. The end came the way all great finishes do, without hesitation. Inoue stepped in, delivered an uppercut followed by a right hand that collapsed resistance entirely, and the referee had no choice but to intervene. 6 rounds. 3 knockdowns. No controversy. No debate. The monster had not only defended his crown, he had closed a chapter that haunted Japanese boxing for years. Neri did not leave as a villain redeemed. He left as a lesson completed. What followed was not celebration, but acknowledgement. Inoue admitted afterward that the motivation was personal, that the history mattered, that this fight meant something deeper than rankings or belts. His performance elevated him further, not just as a champion, but as a symbol of what discipline looks like when tested by chaos. Months later, the monster returned against another dangerous challenger, one with a reputation built on power and resilience. TJ Doheny came in confident, undefeated on Japanese soil, believing his strength could accomplish what Neri failed to do. Early moments carried tension, but this time there was no slip. Inoue controlled the tempo from the opening bell, breaking his opponent down methodically with body shots that carried cruel intent. Round after round, the damage accumulated, not violently chaotic, but systematically devastating. By the 7th round, Doheny's body could no longer comply with his will. A brutal sequence to the ribs caused structural damage that ended the fight not with a knockout, but with survival. Inoue did not celebrate. He looked disappointed, almost annoyed, as if denied the chance to finish a sentence properly. Yet everyone watching understood the truth. The stoppage likely saved a career, perhaps more. Naoya Inoue is no longer just a champion. He is a standard. He is what happens when skill, composure, and accountability collide. In a sport often driven by hype and ego, he represents something rarer: control, precision, consequence. And as long as challengers step forward believing power alone is enough, the monster will be waiting. If you want more stories like this, where boxing becomes more than punches and turns into legacy, consequence, and mastery, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop your thoughts below.